Hello, I'm Steve Olson, the Manager of Training Services for Mesa. In this video, I'd like to share with you a method for using Vault to manage your NC files. Before I dive into the method, I wanted to kind of just share a little bit of the background of this and a little bit of why you might want to do this. So I had a conversation with a customer about a week or so ago that they were going to start using InventorCam, and they already have Vault Pro, and they were wondering if they could use the Vault to manage the NC files that are post-processed out of InventorCam. And I told them absolutely they could be. There's a little bit of a different work here because it's not treated as an actual file the way it gets generated. It's not like it's a component to the CAD file. It's a separate file, but we can get it into the Vault, we can attach it, and at that point it will start following it along. And so I figured I'd show the method here because some of you out there might want to do this as well. And it's a little bit of a different workflow. And I also figured I'd probably do it from two separate personas, one from the CAD guy and one from the CNC programmer. So with all that being said, let's start off with the designs done. The CNC programmer is going to open it up. We're going to regenerate the toolpaths to make sure they're up to date. They're already done on this file, but this is where the CNC programmer would open up the file, and actually we'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to go to my Vault tab. I'm going to do an open. I'm going to go to this caller final, and I'll check it out and get all the properties to update for me as well. So you can see here, I've already got this done. I'm on my CAM tab and actually already have all the toolpaths done for me. So this is where I would make sure that they're already generated. It looks like they're already generated. Doesn't see that there is an update to the file. We'll actually walk through an update here in just a moment. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and post-process this. And you have a couple options here. I'm going to actually put it on my desktop the first time around just for the sake of illustration here. So I'm going to throw it to my desktop, and then I'll give it some sort of number. We'll just go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just for the time being. And we'll go ahead and say post. And so it's going to ask me about saving that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 NC file. I'll save it to my desktop. There we go. There's the program. And if I look at my Vault tab, I did check this out. I'll go ahead and then just check that back in. So how do I get that NC file into the Vault? How do I attach it to that file? So let me switch over to the Vault. So here we are in Vault. You can see there is my colorfunnel.ipt. It's still in the first version because I've added it, and when I checked it out, I didn't really make a change, and Vault was smart enough not to see that it needed another version. We don't see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 NC file because that went to our desktop and not into the Vault. We can bring it in here. We can then attach it to this file, and once the file is attached to the colorfinal.ipt, it will start showing up in the browser whenever we are working on that file. So let's first off get it into the folder, and then we can attach it. So how do we go about doing that? So I'm just going to put it right into this AOTC designs folder. So I can right click here and say add files. It will then open up a browser where I'm supposed to go out and find that file. If I go to my desktop, I should be able to see there is that 12345.nc file. So I'll say open, and I'm going to get a check-in dialog box. I can do all my normal comments and things like that. I'm going to go ahead and say OK, and it will then check it into the Vault. Notice that it does not show a local copy. The reason for that is it's looking in my workspace, not the desktop. So that copy on my desktop now could be deleted, whatever. It's not technically the vaulted version. It's not in my local workspace, etc. So to attach the NC file to the IPT, I'll select it, go up to Actions, I'll go to Attachments. There's no attachments to this file just yet. If I had one, I could actually select it and detach it. But I do want to attach this one. I'll grab my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 NC. I'll say Open. I'll say OK. And now you'll see that this now has a second version. And in my history down here, you can see that attachments was changed. So that caused it to go up a version. So now it's attached. My local copy is out of date because, again, the version went up because I attached the file. I still don't have a local copy of the 12345 NC file. It's not a big deal. If I wanted to do that, I could select both of those, right click and do a get, and I would get local copies of each of those updated versions. So that is the process to attach it. Now let's go through the process of making a modification. So I'm going to go back to Inventor, and at that point I'll be in the role of the CAD user, the engineer that would be making the CAD change. So here in Inventor, as the CAD user, I'd probably go to the Vault tab. I'd probably do the open. Not sure if I have the latest version of this file on my C drive or not, so that's always a good idea. If you're not sure if you have the most up-to-date version, always do that open from Vault. So here's that caller final.ipt. I'll tell it to open it. It's asking if I want to check it out. I'll say yes, because I do intend on making a change. And it's not going to ask about the properties as well. If I look at my Vault tab quickly, you'll see that there is an attachment line item now, and there is that 12345 NC file. It's listed as available for checkout, but is not showing checked out. So it is there. I could check it out if I'm the CNC programmer, which is that's what I'll do when I get to that point. But I wanted to show you how this is now going to show up now that it's attached. I'll go back to my model tab, and I believe extrusion 3 here is basically that hole in the middle. We'll just make a change to that, which would then prompt the NC file or the toolpath to have to update. So if I right click here, I can say edit sketch. I'll just make it a little bit smaller just so it's, we'll go like maybe 0.75. I don't want to have to change a tool or anything like that. So I'm going to go 0.75, finish sketch. And so if I am the CAD user, this is where I go to the Vault, I'd save it, and I would check in. So now, as the CNC programmer, I would go to my Vault tab, I'd go to open, and I'd go to the caller final.ipt again. I want to check it out, yes. And so on and so forth, open that up. On my CAM tab, you can see it did notice a change, so it wants to regenerate these toolpaths. So I'll right click here and I'll say generate toolpath all, and it'll take a moment for it to go through those. It looks like it worked through it fairly quickly. So now I want to post-process this. Now if I look at my Vault tab here, you can see that the NC file is not checked out. So the first time I did this, I was like, Vault's pretty smart. If I try to post-process and overwrite that file, what will happen? And Vault did not pick up on this. It basically, when I got to the point of writing that file, it gave me a warning saying that file is read-only. You're going to have to save it as a different name. So here, as a CNC programmer, I would actually have to right-click on this and check out this file and update all the properties and so on and so forth. So now when I go back to the CAM tab, I can right-click on this. I can say post-process. I'm going to put that number in again. It'd be nice if it remember it, but it doesn't remember it here. Right now it's showing to the desktop. I'll change the output folder to where I want that to go, which for me, my Vault local workspace is on my D drive, _Vault, training Vault, and that file is in this AOTC designs folder. So I'm going to save this as, or select this as my folder to output to. I'll tell it to post. You can see here's that file. There's already one in that folder. It's going to ask me about overwriting it. I do want to replace it. That's fine. And there it kicks out my program. I'll close it. So now if I go back to my Vault tab, I'll save this as well. Now this is one thing that kind of caught me off guard. Typically, we're going to see a green dot on our CAD file showing that, hey, I've made a change. Vault is aware of that. It wants to take it back in. In this case, it's not giving me a green dot. Probably because Vault or Inventor didn't make the change. The file's new, it's different, but it doesn't see that that has actually been changed by Inventor, so the bubble didn't get changed. But if I right-click on this top line item, I can say check in. It's going to take in the NC file and the caller.ipt. I'll say OK. And just to kind of close the loop on this, if we jump back to Vault and I do a refresh, you'll see that my NC file now has two different versions. My caller flange has a couple different ones because it was checked in and out a couple times. This method isn't required. You might want to still use what you're doing now, which might be saving to a network or whatever. However, the great thing about this is it will do that versioning. So if you need to go back to a particular date and time, you can probably make notes as to which revisions these are related to. You could actually just check them in as different names each time. They don't necessarily have to be attached, or they could be attached. It's kind of up to you. But you do have this really powerful data management tool here for you already. Might as well take advantage of it. It's not that much more effort to put it in the vault, attach it, and then have it become associated with that parent part file. Well, that's all for now. Hopefully you found this information helpful and something you can apply in the near future. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to email me at my email address there on the screen. And as always, thanks for watching.